Everyone experiences it at some point. We could be working on a project at work, writing a book, or building something in our garage when we suddenly get the urge to slow down and somehow lose enthusiasm for whatever we're doing. Terms like losing interest, writer's block, and getting burned out are commonly used to describe this decline in interest and energy. We always hear of many ways to deal with this. We hear about how we need to have self-discipline and how important it is to possess it if we want to achieve a worthy goal. These are easier said than done. We're not born with self-discipline, and many of us work hard to obtain, maintain, and nurture it. We can think of self-discipline as a muscle that we need to work on and strengthen. Like a muscle, it gets stronger the more that it is used. To obtain and cultivate self-discipline, certain dynamics need to come into play. Many of the elements of these dynamics come from our external environment, but most of them come from within us. In Discipline Equals Freedom, a field manual, Jocko Willink gives us both a roadmap and instruction manual to discover self-discipline, maintain it, and avoid the traps that make us stumble. Willink provides us with a warrior's tough and gritty approach to self-discipline that is terse and direct. There are no long explanations or psychological mumbo-jumbo, but simple action words such as ignore and outperform, fight on, and step, go. Willink's approach to discipline was incubated with his experience with U.S. Navy SEAL teams, where he spent most of his adult life. He maintains that discipline is the key requirement to meet life's goals, how to overcome obstacles, and how to maintain our bodies' and minds' state of readiness and willingness. His book covers tactics and strategies to overcome fear, procrastination, and weaknesses. This book is divided into two parts. Part 1 focuses on the mental aspects of discipline. Willink asks us to look inward and examine and even defy long-held beliefs and practices on how to approach our goals and tasks. He doesn't go into much detail as to why we're scared, lazy, or inefficient. He just tells us to suck it up, go and do whatever we need to do. Part 2 discusses the physical aspects of discipline and how we need to change our sleep habits, diet, and exercise routines to toughen up our body and get ready for optimum performance. A committed exercise and fitness buff, he shares his own experience and skills in providing us his detailed program for weight training. At the end of the book is an appendix, which describes in fairly detailed fashion what we need to do when we go to the gym. It's not a question of if we go to the gym now, because the book has already taught us that we absolutely need to. He describes various exercises and explains why and how we should approach them. The author, Jocko Willink, is a retired U.S. Navy SEAL, where he enlisted soon after finishing high school. He quickly rose up to the position of commander and led one of the most decorated Special Operations unit during the last Iraq War. Willink not only was a U.S. Navy SEAL, he also trained them. He's the author of 3 other books: Extreme Ownership, How U.S. Navy SEALs Lead and Win, 2015, The Way of the Warrior Kid, 2017, and The Way of the Warrior Kid, The New Recruit, 2018. Thoughts. The Way of Discipline. There are no shortcuts in discipline. There's no hack that gets us from point A to point B easily, or some secret formula that makes us successful in a shorter period of time. The goal of being better, healthier, faster, smarter, and stronger cannot be achieved taking some easy way out. Discipline is the basis of every good trait that we have. Discipline is the way of freedom. Why? The author was still a young man when he began preparing for war. He knew that he had enemy counterparts whom he would eventually meet or fight at some unknown place or time. He had to be ready for this encounter emotionally, physically, and mentally. When he became a leader, he had to impress this same attitude on his troops. Aside from preparing for the enemy, he was preparing mostly for the men that didn't come home from war, his compatriots who died in battle. The origins of discipline. No one else can give you discipline but yourself. It comes from inside us. Discipline is really self-discipline, not something that other people can give us or vice versa. To draw it from within us, we need to make the decision to be disciplined. First, we need to make the decision, and second, to make the commitment. To become free, we need to embrace its relentless and cold power. Where and when to start? Conquering procrastination. The answer to when to start action on a vision or project is easy. Now. Actually, discipline needs to be here and now, because your idea is not going to start by itself. Your business will not open its doors for you. The gym weights aren't going to fly from the racks to your hands, and your bestseller is not going to write itself. You can't wait for those things to happen, so you have to start now. Who will start it if your endeavors cannot start themselves? The person under your control. You cannot control other people, and the best thing you can learn from them is not to repeat their mistakes. The person that you need to control is you. Focus on yourself. Be humble, smarter, stronger, faster, and with less ego. You become a disciplined person on one small decision at a time. Controlling your mind. Discipline is all about mind control, and what we mean is controlling our own minds instead of others. We should answer each question of how by just restating it into a statement. For example, how can I stop missing my ex? Answer, stop missing your ex. How can I stop eating sweets? Answer, stop eating sweets. How can I consistently work out daily? Answer, work out consistently daily. How can I get up earlier? Answer, get up earlier. How can I be stronger and tougher? Answer, be stronger and tougher. You need to declare martial law in your head. Only you get a vote on how you feel. Temper, negativity, frustration, sadness, laziness, and weakness do not get votes. Feeling emotional, soft, lazy, or weak do not get votes either. You need to impose what you want on your mind. When you control your mind, do not let it control you, and it will set you free. Weakness. To be strong, we need to accept that we're weak. It's okay to acknowledge that we are all weak. We care too much about meaningless stuff. We waste time and procrastinate. We don't get enough rest and sleep. We eat badly. We get emotional for senseless things. We aren't the smartest people in the world. We consider ourselves as not being physically flexible, fast, or strong. Since we recognize all these are our starting points for strength. Because we accept our weakness, we will not take continuing being weak. We need to fight with everything we've got and march towards the struggle and the battle. We will be better, even just a little bit, today more than yesterday. We will overcome the flaws, shortfalls, and weaknesses. Stress. A good way to face stress is to gain some perspective. Sometimes we face many problems daily, and yet, if we compare our issues to soldiers and warriors who put their lives on the line in war, some of our concerns probably seem trivial. What we need to do in critical situations is simple. Detach for a while so we can step back and get another perspective. We need to detach from any stress or problems because some of them come from things that are out of our control. The inability to control stress is an indication that there is a lack of discipline and ownership of our situation. We should turn around and battle our stress sources and face them. However, if we cannot control them, we need to embrace them. When we're able to embrace stress and its sources, it will make us a better person because not only can we rise from stress, but also gain some knowledge about our own issues and problems. Our stress will make us better and, more importantly, smarter. Destroyer mode. To have discipline and to kick our stress, we need to get into berserker mode, the crazy destroyer mode. We need to go after what we want by pushing a little harder and digging a little deeper. The two opposing forces of logic and emotion must work together to achieve our maximum potential. When we've thoroughly thought through a situation, we can let our emotion kick in and help us push further. Our fear, frustration, and anger should reinforce the idea of not stopping. When we've exhausted our emotional charge and our feelings have been exhausted to the breaking point, then we turn up our willpower and logic and tell ourselves that we will not stop. We will battle weak emotions with the strength of logic and then fight the shortcomings of logic with raw emotion. In balancing both of these, we will find the guts, the tenacity, and strength to be able to say, I don't stop. Until the end. There's a bothersome tendency among some people to let their guard down after a mission or a project's primary objective is completed. The author did his best to remove this tendency of his own soldiers to relax before their entire mission was complete. He made sure to subject his troops to hard training to meet their primary objective, and drove them even harder when they had left their main target and were returning to base. He would attack his troops from multiple areas with every sort of mayhem possible in order to acclimate them to extreme battle conditions. Remember that a mission is never finished, even if it is completed on paper. We need to always be planning, strategizing, and waiting, never letting our guard down. We should never consider anything finished. We should be relentless, ready, alert, and already starting something else in our heads, even if one mission is already finished. Who should be resting? Our adversaries. We never stop. Our work is not done until our adversary is destroyed completely. We can even let the enemy finish, or we can let them rest, but we ourselves shouldn't stop. Instead, we should prepare ourselves to be stronger, smarter, faster, and better. Application of discipline. Discipline really begins with getting up early in the morning. From this important beginning, we should follow it up with daily workouts, making ourselves healthier, flexible, faster, and stronger. We should also have the right diet so that our body has the right fuel. Then, we need to discipline ourselves to have the right emotions, not let our ego get in the way, and make sure we follow the golden rule. We also need to face our fears to defeat them, and taking the hard uphill road. We do what is right, even if there are things that we don't want to do. We cannot take the easy path to short-term gratification and desire. For all these, we need will. Will and fortitude leads to discipline, which is our best friend and will always take care of us. It will always lead us to happiness, intelligence, health, and strength towards our path to freedom. Questions and knowledge. Knowledge is the most powerful of our tools because this is where all our other tools come from. Knowledge is our most effective weapon. The way to obtaining knowledge is through questions. We should question everything and not accept anything as the absolute truth if we're not sure about it. If we're not sure about an answer, we keep on digging until we're satisfied with the answer. The most important questions that we can ask are about ourselves. Start by taking stock of ourselves. Who am I? What have I done that has benefited the world? What can I do to be better? Fight. If you fight with all you have, if you go down swinging, you'll probably not lose. In our own daily life, we should go over and above what we think is necessary or possible. We should always consider the extra repetition, the extra mile, the extra work. We need to give our all because we have nothing to lose. Fight against decay, time, fear, and weakness. Face up to every challenge and keep on fighting with everything you've got. Fight until the last drop of sweat, and even when you go down, stand right back up and go forward. Compromise. Being able to compromise, especially as a leader, is a key to success. However, we cannot internally compromise on the following. 1. Working hard. 2. Self-improvement. 3. Self-discipline. We have to face our demons and our own mistakes, not go out and give up. We're going to stand up and fight, no matter what. These cannot be compromised. We tell ourselves, I'm going to work hard. I'm going to train hard. I'm going to improve myself. I am not going to rest on my laurels. I'm going to own my mistakes and confront or face my demons. I'm not going to give up or give out or give in. I'm going to stand. I'm going to maintain my self-discipline. There is no compromise on these things. Default aggressive. We can be proactive, but we should also be aggressive. This does not mean being outwardly aggressive where we show our fists and puff out our chests. Aggression means a strength that comes from within us. It's an internal fire that dictates that we will outmaneuver and beat our enemy. It is an unstoppable, burning, fighting spirit. Aggression may mean violence, but it can very well mean guile. Aggression is simply the unstoppable will to win. Will to win also translates to we will win, and this is our default mode. Nature versus nurture. It doesn't make any difference how we were brought up. What matters are the choices that we make. People born with riches have failed, and people born with nothing have succeeded tremendously. Successful people just decided that they wanted to be successful. It's a choice they made. They worked hard and studied hard to earn their success. Do not think about where you came from. Think about where you're going and make choices. Choose making yourself stronger and healthier. Choose to work hard, work out hard, eat better, and think clearer and cleaner. Fear of failure. People usually think that fear of failure is bad because it keeps us from taking on risks. However, fear of failure is actually a positive thing because it keeps us afraid. It should keep us up at night, strategizing, rehearsing, planning, and going over what-ifs and what-should-bes. This fear of failure should keep us up at night while we plan, rehearse, and go over contingencies. This kind of fear will keep us training hard. Fear of failure will stop us from cutting corners. This fear will make us terrified and horrified from sitting on the sidelines helplessly. We do not want to be waking up one day in the near or distant future realizing that we've not accomplished what we set out to do. We need to get up and go. The fear of failure should drive us to take that first step, take action, and gamble. We cannot afford to let another day go by. The warpath. This is the process of going to war. Going to war does not necessarily mean facing up against an enemy, but against our weaknesses. This process involves honing our skills and sharpening our swords. When we say we're on a warpath, the war could be any or a combination of the following. 1. Versus confusion leading to strength. 2. Versus ignorance leading to knowledge. 3. Versus confusion leading to understanding. It's never a painless path. It will lead to suffering, sweat, blood, and adversity. Nevertheless, this is a warpath that eventually leads to us taking ownership of our lives, which means a path of discipline towards freedom and ultimately towards peace. Sugar-coated lives. We do not need sugar in our lives. If we have to eat sugar, let us choose not eating at all, because sugar will kill us. We can go for days without food if the alternative is sugar. We need to hold the line. This means mental toughness in holding the line for our health. This is a supreme exercise of our will. Bad instincts. The one instinct that we cannot afford is, I've had enough. We cannot listen to the voice inside us that says that we can surrender, back off, take a knee, and stand down. We cannot listen to and need to fight this instinct. It seems so warm and inviting when we hear the words, "It's not your fault. You did your best," or "The deck was stacked against you." If we're forced to stand down for any reason, then we accept it at that moment, but only for that moment. It's actually a sign that we need to plan a new attack and rebuild. We make the decision to stand down after some logical reasoning, not on an instinct of defeat and surrender. We must destroy that instinct and quickly replace it with one that says, get up, go, fight on. This will be our gut instinct. Get up, go, fight on. With it, we can plow through anything that stands in our way. Not feeling it. There'll be days when we just don't have the motivation to do anything. We're sick of the grind, are worn out and tired. So what do? We go anyway and get it done. Even if we're going through the motions, that's okay, as long as we're doing the motion. When we go through the motions, we're overcoming the weakness that says we need to rest and back down for a bit. Jump out of bed when you feel like staying in bed. Don't take a break and put off your tasks until tomorrow. What we need to put off until tomorrow is our break. When we do this to our breaks, we're standing on the righteous, disciplined warpath, exactly right where we belong. Regret. We make mistakes and we learn from them. We're the product of our mistakes, and when they hit us squarely in the face, we then realize that we still have much to learn. We know that 20/20 hindsight is perfect, but we are not. We can look back to learn from our mistakes, but one thing we cannot do when we look back is regret. We have one life to live, and so many important things to do. Regret is not one of them, because it's a useless emotion. In fact, we should fear regret. We should avoid situations where this fear will set us off into immediate action right now. Our action plan is not to be a person who is filled with regret, but instead a person filled with life, power, strength, and knowledge. Focus. We should never lose sight of the long-term goal. We're often distracted by short-term issues, problems, and even successes. Sometimes this throws us off balance, and we lose momentum towards our ultimate objective. Because of short-term thinking and instant gratification, the long view fades as a vision, and then fades from memory. Our passion slowly ebbs, and we question whether we really wanted to achieve the overall goal in the first place. We have to kick this dangerous tendency. We need to think about it, write about it, and talk about it. Most importantly, we need to do something about it daily. Do anything, big or small, that makes us move towards our ultimate goal. Even small, seemingly insignificant steps repurposes us and keeps the objective alive. We need to do them. Hesitation. There's a gap between actions that can give us a reason to hesitate. There's a moment when we have to step into the unknown, a horrible and fear-filled moment. This fear is what causes us to hesitate. Hesitation is harmful and can lead to defeat. Hesitation is a formidable enemy. It allows an opportunity to be lost or a crucial moment to pass, which can allow our enemy to have the upper hand. Eventually, this hesitation turns us into cowards. Cowardice prevents us from taking initiative and moving forward from execution. Hesitation can lead to our defeat, so we have to defeat it. To achieve victory, we need to overcome the waiting and hesitation. This means going, moving, taking action. Hesitation defeats us, so we must defeat it. To win, all we have to do is overcome that moment, the waiting, the hesitation. We need to jump out of bed and avoid that brief moment of doubt and wondering. Just go forward and win. Draw fire. Life isn't fair and doesn't play favorites. The reality is that accidents and diseases do not care if they inflict misfortune on a so-called good person. Bad things happen to good people. When this happens to us or to people close to us, we should not lash out at other people in frustration. Neither should we fall apart or fall down. Instead, we should absorb the impact, take the hit, and draw fire. Drawing fire is leadership. It means bringing the pain to ourselves because we can take the pain when others are not able to. Drawing fire can be done for tactical reasons aside from absorbing pain, maybe to distract the opposition, to help others move unhindered, or to help others figure out the enemy. This fortitude is an attitude that will spread to the team and encourage them to fight as they are bolstered. The spirit to fight will soar, and we will win because our spirit is unyielding. We will stand and fight. Good. How do we deal with disasters, defeats, delays, failures, and setbacks? We should have the right approach in addressing these circumstances, and the best way of dealing with them can be summed up in one word: good. This means that even when things are going bad, we can still extract some good from any mess or disaster. If we don't get promoted, get adequate funding, or are injured, these are all learning experiences that can only make us better, so we respond by saying, good. These hiccups mean that we just need to refocus and work harder. We're being challenged to be better. It's wasted effort to dwell on the problem, so we need to re-engage, recalibrate, and go forward harder. Death. When someone that we care for dies, we should be thankful that we had that person in our life in the first place. We cannot escape the fact that death is unfair, cruel, and horrible. However, we must accept that death is a part of life and is inescapable. No one has ever escaped death. What death teaches us is that we have to feel blessed every day. We not only have to live, but we need to laugh and grow. We need to live each day with a passion and a purpose, because we are allowed to wake up each morning with that wonderful opportunity to live in the world. We should consider our living life as honoring those who left us in death. Every day. We need to go on every day in pursuing our goals. There are no rest days or weekends, because every day is a Monday. We will get beat up sometimes, and we will always get tired, but no matter what, we will not stop. No more. There will be no more excuses, waiting for the right moment, indecision, procrastination, and weakness. From now on, we will only have strength. It is through will and strength, and, of course, discipline, that we will become what we want to be. When we have achieved our ultimate goal, then and only then can we say no more. Staying motivated. We cannot count on motivation because it is fickle and it comes and goes. It's an unreliable ally in our quest to be the best. We need discipline, and we need to be disciplined. We should just dig in and accomplish it. Me versus me. Those who say that we can be what we want to be are lying. We have physical and mental restrictions that dictate that we cannot be an Albert Einstein or an Olympic weightlifter. What we do have, though, is to be the best that we can be. We will be better than we ever thought was possible. At the very least, we can be better than we were yesterday. We can consider each time we become better a victory, one that can never be taken away from us. Being the best we can be is done in solitude, maybe in the early morning darkness. It will not be done in front of an audience or because we're going to earn medals. It will be done because of our will and discipline and because we will not stop. Remain vigilant. Losing focus and discipline doesn't usually happen in one big moment. Little things chip away at our discipline and will. We eat that one little forbidden chocolate bar. We miss a workout, and we wake up a little late. Before we know it, we've lost our discipline and are greatly weakened. We become lost and disorganized and find ourselves in decay, moving backward and regressing. We need to be vigilant about seemingly small and innocent moments that can take away our discipline, our will, and ultimately our success. We need to be on the alert. Fear is normal. Step, go. Those are the two big words when we become afraid. Fear is normal because we're afraid of what is unknown and sometimes afraid of our own possible failure. To get over our fears, we need to simply walk into them. We cannot wait for the fear to disappear. We cannot afford to contemplate on what we're afraid of. We cannot make excuses or justifications anymore. We just need to step, go. The darkness. Darkness will always come to blot out our day. The sun will not illuminate our way every day, and the storms will arrive. Worse, we can be alone during dark times and will seem to consume everything around us, but we shouldn't let darkness eat us up. We will not let the darkness darken our day and kill our light. We will win because our will is going to allow us to keep fighting. The only defeat is surrender, and quitting means that we will let darkness defeat us. We need to fight the darkness and not let it win. We fight on. Overwhelmed. Life tests us by overwhelming us with problems and issues ever so often. The way of life is Murphy's Law, where anything that can go wrong will. When problems seem to come at us, all at once and threaten to overwhelm us, it doesn't mean that we should lie down and give up. What it really means is that we need to fight harder. We will not let these problems defeat us. We will not let them get to us first, so we have to go on the warpath and dig in. We figure out the problems and prioritize which ones we take on first. Then we attack. It will be hard, because life is hard. When we win and look back at these problems that threaten to bring us down, we will thank them because they made us better. Negative talk from negative people. Negative input from other people will come, and sometimes we need to confront them, such as challenging and responding to negative publicity or serious allegations. In these cases, we should respond professionally by thanking people for their input and telling them that we will use their input to up our game. After that, we respond in the same way we respond to unfounded and nuisance inputs from negative people. Ignore and outperform. While the negative people are spending time talking about and against us, we're working hard and moving forward because we will outperform them and defeat them. Hold the line. The line we hold is not regressing and going back to a previous state. We fight against decay and weakness that will bring us back and bring us down. We fight immediate rewards and instant gratification, which will bring us back. We will never surrender ground. Begin. We get up before everyone does and start. We rise every day fighting the comforts of our pillow and our bed. We fight the temptation and the weakness. We just need to do it quickly. We need to take action. We just need to get up and go. Engage. Weakness is strong, but we must be stronger. We will crush weakness into submission through the force of our will. We will fight against weakness and soreness and fatigue that scream at us to give in. We will not give in because we will fight. Laughter wins. Despite all the despair, suffering, and weakness, we will be having fun. To spite the suffering, we laugh at it all, and when we do, our enemies cannot stand it, and this gives us an edge. Everything becomes easier when we're having fun because laughter wins. Actions. Physical training. Getting after it. Physical training will make you healthier and better. It will help you get rid of depression, insomnia, type 2 diabetes, heart disease, obesity, and high blood pressure. There's also a bonus. Working out actually makes you smarter because it improves blood flow to the brain. It makes your nervous system healthier and strengthens your cognitive processes. Exercise now and marvel as your mental gets better. You'll be smarter, sharper, and more aware. Get some exercise done and pay attention to your mental state. You will feel more aware, sharper, and smarter. This is real. Stress, good and bad. Some stress is needed to help improve our body and our mind. Stress triggers the release of the hormone cortisol, which redirects and focuses our energy on immediate threats instead of less urgent demands, generates energy from stored reserves, and makes glucose available to our brain. Too much cortisol is bad because it can cause some bone loss and encourage fat deposits. It can also cause damage to blood vessels in the heart, lead to sustained hypertension, and repress the immune system. In physical training, exercise helps release cortisol, but we must also be careful not to exercise too much. At any rate, stress is important. You must apply some stress to your mind and body in order to improve. When? Physical training should be done right away. Wake up early and do it. Lack of time is not an excuse, so do it when you first have time, which is right when you wake up. In the military, pre-dawn is the time to get ready. This may seem harsh and undoable, but you can become accustomed to it, and you'll find out that getting up early will guarantee to make your day better. So, get after it. Psychological edge. We get a psychological edge over the enemy if we know that we work harder and get up earlier than them. If we keep these to heart, we can much more easily defeat them. We must understand that discipline does not dissipate the more we apply it, as some scientists assert. In fact, discipline becomes stronger every time we call it into action. If we write down what time we'll wake up, what we need to do, and what we will eat the night before, we will become more disciplined. If we do not have a regimen like this, we will soon stray. Straying will come quietly and slowly until we lose our will and discipline. We need to stay on the discipline path because will propagates and discipline begets more discipline. If we hold this line, we will win. Sleep. We need sleep because lack of sleep can lead to serious physical problems. When you do not get enough sleep, your bones will weaken and muscle mass will decrease because the body will release less growth hormones. Lack of sleep also suppresses the immune system, increases blood pressure, interferes with glucose metabolism, and suppresses the immune system. The optimal amount of sleep for adults is between 7 and 9 hours. Although rare, some people, because of genetics, require less sleep. However, if we are in good physical condition and are eating right, we may need less sleep and even fall asleep faster. This is why half of this book is devoted to physical conditioning. A stronger and healthier body means better sleep. However, sleep can be a double-edged sword because too much sleep can be bad. We may want to huddle in our blankets and pillows just a little longer, so we end up waking up later and not getting up fast and get things done. Everything being equal, the only way to get enough sleep and still wake up early is to go to bed earlier. Falling asleep. It may be hard for some people to fall asleep, but there are some things that we can do to help us along. We can do the following. Read to get our mind relaxed. Turn off the computer to disengage our mind from having to pay attention and get tired. Getting tired means we have put in a highly productive and active day. Finally, we sleep early at night if we got up early that morning. We need the alarm clock to help us with our sleep patterns. If we need extra sleep, we can take power naps. Power naps. Power naps are stolen moments that we can use to recharge ourselves when we're feeling tired during the day. The best technique is to lay down or sit back to elevate our feet above our heart, close our eyes, relax, and sleep for 6 to 8 minutes. This is a great recharging mechanism, but we need to avoid the danger of letting the power nap morph to a 6 or 8 hour slumber. The workouts. The best exercise routine is anything that we can do on a consistent basis. A game of basketball, stretching, lifting weights, swimming, calisthenics, jogging, walking, stretching, and even burpees or jiu-jitsu mat are great activities. A burpee is a quick 4-step exercise to quickly stretch most of the muscles in the body and help in the body's aerobics. A burpee is done by starting from a standing position, then going into a squat position with the hands flat on the ground, kicking the legs back to a plank position, winding back into a squat position, and then standing back up. Each motion takes no more than 5 seconds. Burpees figure prominently in the exercises in the appendix to this book. We can pretend that we can't figure out what the best exercise is, but that is just an excuse for stalling and not doing anything at all. The author strongly suggests, however, that no matter what exercise routine or regimen we choose, we need to make a record of it so we can track our progress. Recording our actions also keeps us focused and reminded of what we need to do. This being said, Willink offers his own program for physical workouts. He has these categories in his program: pulling, pushing, lifting, and squatting. Within these categories are exercises for working on specific muscles, such as those for the abdominal area and those for what he calls Metcon, or metabolic conditioning. He also categorizes his program to fit someone's progress as beginner, intermediate, and advanced. The key in any routine is to stay with the routine on a daily basis, no matter what, where, and when. We need to keep our routine. We cannot take days off. A single day can be a slippery slope towards abandoning our program in part or in whole. We need to maintain the routine and the discipline. Building the home gym. A home gym is a great way to take away our excuses for not working out. However, a home gym doesn't have to be outfitted like a real gym with complete sets of machines and equipment. We can place, use, and store equipment in a small place in the house or even all over the house. All we need are the basics, like a pull-up bar where we can do our squats, gut work, push-ups, and pull-ups. We can also have cheap plastic gymnastic rings. These can be mounted almost anywhere in our homes and can allow us to perform a great number of exercises, such as holds, L-sits, ring push-ups, ring pull-ups, and ring dips. We also need weights and barbells that we can place anywhere in the house. You can do dynamic lifts like the snatch and clean and jerk if you can purchase rubber bumper plates. Martial arts. The three forms of martial arts are striking, grappling, and weapons. Striking is the most prominent of the martial arts because it involves the most obvious techniques of attacking and defense. These include using almost every part of our bodies to headbutt, elbow, knee, kick, and punch an opponent. Grappling involves holding and using body leverage to pin down and neutralize an opponent. One kind of martial art that requires more mental agility and less strength is that of firearms. A firearm is a great equalizer because no matter how big the opponent or threat is, the same firearm will take them down regardless of their size or strength. A firearm is a dangerous weapon, and there are important things we need to remember about how we use them. Mishandled firearms are extremely dangerous and can cause serious injury and death to the owner or other innocent people if they're not handled with the 4 principles of firearm safety constantly in mind. 1. Always be sure of the target and what's behind it. 2. Keep your finger off the trigger until our sights are on the target. 3. Do not point a firearm at someone or something you are not willing to destroy. 4. Treat every gun as if it's loaded. 5. Keep or store firearms where they're kept away from those who you do want to restrict access to, like children. 6. Obtain proper firearms training from a professional who will teach not only how to use a firearm effectively, but who can also teach how they can be used safely. Manual martial arts are becoming very popular with the increasing popularity of the UFC and MMA. The author recommends Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu as the best martial art to begin with because it teaches how we can get off the ground quickly and is also the most cerebral because of the almost endless number of moves that can be learned. After Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, the author recommends boxing, Muay Thai, and wrestling. Regardless of the martial art, we need to just do it and be consistent in practicing it. Martial arts also have a wonderful side effect, which is physical conditioning. We do not need the excuse to be properly conditioned because martial arts will do it for us. Where to train? In choosing a jiu-jitsu academy, the following should be considered. 1. The place should be close enough so that we cannot use the excuse that it is too far and inconvenient to get to. Do not have any preconceived ideas of what a facility should look like. What is important is that you find a place comfortable enough to participate in, regardless of the place's aura or atmosphere. 3. Choose a place where the instructors have achieved the highest levels of skill and proficiency possible. For example, a black belt instructor is generally more preferable to a lower level instructor. 4. When you visit a facility, try to jump into the action immediately. All these facilities offer a free day or days for you to try out the place. Actually working out in a facility, even before you sign up, will tell you if you will really like the place on a long-term basis. Immediate action drills, facing a threat. The best actions to neutralize a threat are to train hard to prepare for it and to avoid it in the first place. We should be aware of our surroundings and assess all escape routes, just in case we have to have a quick getaway. If you cannot avoid a bad situation, we should do one thing: act. we act in the following ways. 1. If shooting starts, get down and call the police. 2. Run away from the enemy if possible, especially if there's a lull in the violence. 3. If trapped in a room with a shooter outside, we should barricade ourselves or sneak into a hiding place if we can find one. 4. If you can, attack or shoot the assailant with a firearm as soon as the enemy enters the room. Remember the rules about firearms in the preceding section if you need to use them. Fuel, feeding the machine. Balance. Our bodies have many automatic mechanisms to ensure internal balance, or homeostasis. It balances water levels, plasma ionized calcium, potassium, and sodium concentrations in the blood, blood pressure, and acidity. What we eat contributes directly to how our bodies balance out. A very important balance that our body requires is that of sugar or glucose levels. If we consume too much carbohydrates, high glucose levels can cause body fat to be stored. This contributes to obesity and other ailments that obesity brings. However, the biggest danger of high glucose levels is the continuous spiking of insulin in our blood, which can lead to insulin resistance and type 2 diabetes. We should lower our carbohydrate intake because of its harmful effects. It doesn't help that carbohydrates are addictive and can cause various neurochemical responses similar to drugs like heroin. Addicted to sugar. Sugar is addictive, and when we stop eating it, we can experience withdrawal symptoms similar to that of drug withdrawal. We can experience anxiety, irritation, and headaches during this withdrawal phase. We're told lies about carbohydrates, the biggest one being that our body needs them. We need to get off the sugar train and stop the sugar addiction. Fuel. The modern diet has been around for 10,000 years, but our bodies have not yet adapted to it. Our body is still designed to consume the foods that our Paleolithic ancestors ate, and we should continue doing so. We should avoid most carbohydrates and processed grains, and consume mostly protein, fat, nuts, and vegetables. We should avoid all processed grains, such as carbs, sugar, most fruits. Some try to tell us to follow the 80-20 rule, which means we should eat at most 20% comprised of the prohibited foods. This is wrong advice. We should follow the 100-0 rule, which means that we avoid the prohibited foods all the time. If you don't have any food to eat aside from carbohydrates, just don't eat. Fast. Fasting. Intermittent fasting can be good for you, especially if we have nothing healthy to eat anyway. Some of the good effects of fasting include 1. Improves function of cells, genes, and hormones. 2. Increases brain-derived neurotrophic factors. 3. Induces cell repair processes. 4. Induces detoxification process. 5. Induces loss of body fat. 6. Increases levels of endorphins. 7. Reduces oxidative stress and inflammation. 8. Reduces risk of insulin resistance and type 2 diabetes. Aside from these, fasting helps us test our will and hones our discipline. Fasting also helps us avoid eating the poison of carbohydrates and sugar. Fasting can be done gradually until we can fast for up to 72 hours, such as the author does. We can start with skipping a meal, then 2, then not eating for an entire day except for some water, tea, and some sunflower seeds. Do not think of fasting as depriving yourself. You don't need food all the time. Human beings can go for up to 30 days without eating. At the end of the fast, we will find that food tastes much better because we missed it a lot. Repair and maintenance, injury prevention and recovery. Stretching. Physical conditioning requires that we warm up and stretch properly. Stretching helps prevent injuries, assists in recovery, and improves range in motion. While there are many stretching routines, the author names his favorites. Cow fact pose, downward dog, couch and reverse sleeper stretch, external rotation stretch, the Cossack stretch, swimmer stretch, and the kneeling hip flexor stretch. Whichever stretching routine we use, we should be consistent. Dealing with injuries and illness. For most injuries and illness, our battle cry should be, do what you can. Unless physically impossible or life-threatening, we should continue to work out no matter what, even if we have to reduce the intensity and frequency of the exercises when we work out. We can also work out the body parts that are not affected by our illness or injury. For example, if we have a knee injury, we can work our upper body. If we absolutely cannot do our physical exercises because we're laid out, we can hone our existing skills or even learn new ones. We can learn to play a musical instrument, paint, draw, blog, etc. We can learn, create, and certainly do some productive and self-improvement efforts. Whether it's a reduced version of our workout or we have something else, we just get after it. The workouts. Warming up. Before starting our workout, we should do some warm-ups to prepare the body. A good warm-up is to go up a pull-up bar for 10 to 15 seconds. Then, use various motions to stretch the back, abs, and hamstrings, going for 10 to 15 seconds for each body area. After the bars, do a few jumping jacks and a burpee. Good warm-ups help keep our blood flowing, especially to those parts that we're exercising. If we're going to work a specific body part for that day, we need to apply some light weight to those parts or muscles before we go with full weights. When we use full weights, we should be careful not to use weights that are too heavy. We should also use the proper motion or range of motion to avoid injury. The workouts. There are 3 levels of workouts in the book's appendix: beginner, intermediate, and advanced. The routines increase in intensity and length as we go up each level. There are 4 sets of exercises for each workout level, and each set consists of 4 parts. Pull consists of pulling yourself up on a bar. These mainly target the upper torso and the arms. The exercises can be completed by weights as the intensity increases. Push. These consist of push-ups and are also complemented by weights as the intensity increases. Lift. Comprised mostly of handstands that lift the body. These build up strength in various body parts. Squat. Squatting and lunging helps improve muscle strength, agility, and flexibility for the lower part of the body. Within each of these 4 parts, there are up to 4 steps. Primary work, the main activity for a particular set in an exercise. Secondary and tertiary work, additional work for a particular set in an exercise. Not all parts have secondary and tertiary exercises. Gut, exercises that target the abdomen. Metcon, aerobic or cardio component of an exercise. Note that the term max means the full range of motion needed to complete a rep. A max pull means your head should go above the bar, while a max push-up means that you bring your forearms almost to the floor level in the descending motion. A max burpee means that the full range of motion should be done quickly without any pauses. Definitions of many of the exercises can easily be obtained online or from rudimentary books on physical training and conditioning. Beginner Series 1. Pull. Primary work. Max pull-ups, 8 sets. Gut. Sit-ups, 2 minutes. Metcon. 2 runs of 400 meters each. Push. Primary work. Max push-ups, 8 sets. Gut. Leg raises, 2 minutes of raising your legs between 10 to 45 degrees. Metcon. 2 minutes of burpees. Lift. Primary work. Handstand holds, 8 sets. Gut. V-ups, 2 minutes. Metcon. 2 runs of 400 meters each. Squat. Primary work. Forward lunges, 50 sets. Gut. Crunches, 1 minute. Reverse crunches, 2 minutes. Metcon. Maximum burpees in 2 minutes. Beginner Series 2. Push. Primary work, max push-ups, 5 sets. Gut, leg raises, 2 minutes of raising your legs between 10 to 45 degrees. Metcon, 2 minutes of max burpees. Pull. Primary work, max pull-ups, 5 sets. Gut, sit-ups, 2 minutes. Metcon, 2 runs of 400 meters each. Lift. Primary work, handstand negatives, 5 sets. Secondary work, arm circles, overhead, front, side. Gut, V-ups, 2 minutes. Metcon, 1 run of 800 meters. Squat. Primary work, lunges, squat thrusts, and jump squats. Gut, crunches, 1 minute. Reverse crunches, 1 minute. Metcon, run 1 mile. Beginner Series 3. Push. Primary work, push-up pyramid. Gut, V-ups, 2 minutes. Metcon, run 1 mile hard. Pull. Primary work, pull-up pyramid. Gut, sit-ups, 2 minutes. Metcon, 4 by 100 yard shuttle runs. Lift. Primary work, handstand holds, 4 sets. Secondary work, hand haulers. Tertiary work, arm circles, overhead, front, side. Gut, plank position, hold for 1 minute. Metcon, 5 jumping jacks and 1 squat thrust, and repeatedly for 2 minutes. Squat. Primary work, 10 squats, 5 forward lunges, 5 sets. Gut, crunches 1 minute. Reverse crunches 1 minute. Hold a 1 minute plank. Metcon, run 400 meters twice. Beginner Series 4. Push. Primary work, 5 sets of 1 minute of push-up sprints with a 2 minute rest in between. Gut, 1 minute plank. Metcon, burpees 2 minutes. Pull. Primary work, 5 sets of 1 minute of pull-up sprints with a 2 minute rest in between. Gut, sit-ups, 2 minutes. Metcon, shuttle runs, 4 by 100. Lift. Primary work, handstand holds, 5 minutes. Secondary work, hand haulers. Tertiary work, arm circles, overhead, front, side. Gut, V-ups, 2 minutes. Metcon, 400 meter run, twice, with max effort. Squat. Primary work, 50 squats and 50 forward lunges. Gut, crunches 1 minute, reverse crunches 1 minute. Metcon, max burpees in 2 minutes. Intermediate Series 1. Push. Primary work, max dips and push-ups, 8 sets. Secondary work, hang snatch movement. Gut, V-ups, 100. Metcon, 3 minutes of max burpees. Pull. Primary work, max pull-ups, chin-ups, 8 sets. Secondary work, hang cleans. Tertiary work, straight bar curls and reverse curls. Gut, sit-ups, 2 minutes, leg raises, 2 minutes. Metcon, run 400 meters 3 times. Lift. Primary work, 8 sets of deadlifts and handstand push-ups. Secondary work, barbell press. Gut, knees to elbows, 4 sets of maximum reps, 8 to 10 reps. Metcon, 100 meter shuttle runs, 6. Squat. Primary work, back squats. Secondary work, overhead squats. Tertiary work, jump squats. Gut, 3 minute plank. Metcon, run 2 miles. Intermediate Series 2. Push. Primary work, 100 push-ups and 50 dips. Secondary work, snatch movement. Gut, V-ups, 100. Metcon, 3 minutes of max burpees. Pull. Primary work, kipping pull-ups, 100, 50 dead hang pull-ups. Secondary work, cleans. Tertiary work, straight back curls and reverse curls. Gut, leg raises, 2 minutes, sit-ups, 2 minutes. Metcon, 5 minutes of max burpee pull-ups. Lift, primary work, 50 bodyweight deadlifts and 50 handstand push-ups. Secondary work, barbell press. Tertiary work, clean and jerk. Gut, knees to elbows, 4 sets. Metcon, 100-meter shuttle runs, 6. Squat, primary work, back squat, 6 sets with 100% body weight. Secondary work, front squats, 6 sets with 50% body weight. Tertiary work, overhead squats. Gut, plank, 3 minutes. Metcon, run for 2 miles. Intermediate Series 3. Push. Primary work, 5 sets of triceps push-ups, deep push-ups, clap push-ups, and dips. Secondary work, snatch movement. Gut, Russian twists, 100, 100 V-ups, 100. Metcon, 3 minutes max burpees. Pull. Primary work, 5 sets of chin-ups, kipping pull-ups, dead hang pull-ups, L-tuck pull-ups, L-sit pull-ups. Secondary work, cleans. Tertiary work, straight bar curls and reverse curls. Gut, leg raises, 2 minutes, sit-ups, 2 minutes. Metcon, 20, 15, 10, 5 of cleans pull-ups. Lift. Primary work, 8 max sets of bodyweight deadlifts and 8 sets of HSPUs, handstand push-ups. Secondary work, clean and jerk movement drills. Gut, hanging straight leg raises, 4 sets of max reps. Metcon, 100-meter shuttle runs, 6. Squat. Primary work, front squats, 8 sets with 50% body weight. Secondary work, back squats, 3 sets with 100% body weight. Tertiary work, overhead squat movement. Gut, plank, 3 minutes. Metcon, 2-mile run. Intermediate Series 4, push. Primary work, pull-up pyramid, every minute on the minute. Secondary work, on the minute push-up pyramid. Tertiary work, snatch movement. Gut, Russian twists, 100, 100 V-ups, 100. Metcon, 3 minutes of max burpees. Pull. Primary work, pull-up pyramid, every minute on the minute. Secondary work, cleans. Tertiary work, straight bar curls and reverse curls. Gut, leg raises, 2 minutes, sit-ups, 2 minutes. Metcon, 5 minutes of max burpee pull-ups. Lift. Primary work, Tabata bodyweight deadlifts, followed by Tabata HSPUs. Secondary work, clean and jerk movement drills. Gut, hanging straight leg raises, 4 sets. Metcon, 100-meter shuttle runs, 6. Squat. Primary work, back squats, 8 sets with 100% body weight. Secondary work, front squats, 3 sets with 50% body weight. Gut, plank, 3 minutes. Metcon, 2-mile run. Advanced Series 1, push. Primary work, weighted bar dips, weighted spring dips. Gut, hanging leg raises, 5 sets. Metcon, 20, 15, 10, 5, power snatch, clap push-ups, burpees. Pull. Primary work, pull-ups and weighted pull-ups, 5 sets. Secondary work, hang cleans. Gut, Russian twists, 100, V-ups, 100. Metcon, 400 meters, 4 times, 25 pull-ups. Lift. Primary work, deadlift, clean and jerk, snatch. Gut, 100 GHD sit-ups. Metcon, 100-meter shuttle runs, 6. Squat. Primary work, back squat, front squat, overhead squat. Gut, hanging leg raises. Metcon, 2-mile run. Advanced Series 2, push. Primary work, push-ups, ring push-ups, dips, ring dips. Gut, hanging leg raises, 5 sets. Metcon, 100 burpees for time. Pull. Primary work, 100 kipping pull-ups for time, 100 dead hang pull-ups, 30 muscle-ups. Secondary work, hang cleans. Tertiary work, curls, reverse curls. Gut, 100 reverse crunches, 100 sit-ups, 100 Russian twists, 100 V-ups. Metcon, 20, 15, 10, 5 of cleans, pull-ups. Lift. Primary work, deadlift. Gut, GHD sit-ups, 100. Metcon, deadlift, clean, and jerk, circuit, HSPU. Squat. Primary work, back squat. Gut, sit-ups with 20% of body weight on chest, 100. Metcon, overhead run, back squat, squat. Advanced Series 3, push. Primary work, 3 minutes on 1 minute rest, push-ups, deep push-ups, clap push-ups, dips, ring push-ups, ring dips. Secondary work, snatch movement. Gut, 5-minute plank. Metcon, burpees, 3x3. Pull, primary work, 3 minutes on 1 minute rest, kipping pull-ups, dead hang chin-ups, L-tuck pull-ups, L-sit pull-ups, muscle-ups. Secondary work, hang cleans. Tertiary work, curls, reverse curls. Gut, Russian twists, 100, V-ups, 100. Metcon, 20, 15, 10, 5 of pull-ups, cleans. Lift, primary work, clean and jerk. Gut, GHD sit-ups, 100. Metcon, deadlifts, clean and jerks, circuit HSPUs. Squat. Primary work, back squat, front squat, overhead squat. Gut, sit-ups, 100 with 20% body weight on chest. Metcon, 2-mile run. Advanced Series 4. Push, primary work, push-ups, deep push-ups, clap push-ups, bar dips, ring push-ups, ring dips. Secondary work, hang snatches. Gut, ring L-sits. Metcon, on the minute, burpees, ring dips. Pull, primary work, muscle-ups, L-sit pull-ups, L-tuck pull-ups, dead hang pull-ups, kipping pull-ups, dead hang chin-ups. Secondary work, hang cleans. Tertiary work, reverse curls, curls. Gut, 100 V-ups, 100 Russian twists, 100 sit-ups, 100 reverse crunches. Metcon, every minute on the minute, burpees, pull-ups. Lift. Primary work, clean and jerk. Gut, hanging windshield wipers, 5 sets. Metcon, deadlifts, clean and jerks, circuit HSPUs. Squat. Primary work, back squat, overhead squat. Gut, sit-ups with 20% body weight on chest, 100. Metcon, 2-mile run. Road warrior workouts. Sometimes we find ourselves traveling, which gets us away from our gym or our home gym equipment. This may seem like an excellent excuse for not working out, but make no mistake, it's not a valid one. These excuses are not acceptable. We have to work out no matter what, and we have to make do with what's available. When staying at a hotel, find out if they have an in-house gym. If not, look for a gym close by the hotel and see if the gym has visitor privileges, whether tied to the hotel you're staying in or not. Pay for the one-day pass if you have to. Most hotel gyms are wanting in equipment, especially when we're accustomed to going to bigger gyms, but their equipment should suffice for our purposes. In cases where there are absolutely no gym facilities available, we need to be creative and perform our workouts in the confines of our hotel room. If there's nothing we can use in the hotel room to do pull-ups, we can use some of the primary, secondary, metcons, and gut work in the various sets in any level that do not require any equipment. We can still have a pretty thorough workout in our hotel room. No excuses. The main objective for working out while we're traveling is to make sure that our physical conditioning work does not get interrupted. A strong body needs to be kept strong no matter where we are. Soldiers in the desert need to keep fit, and they find ways to do so even without barbells or pull-up bars. We should try to be just as resourceful as the soldiers. We need to stay on the path. Continued improvement and exploration. There is an interminable list of workout routines and programs that we can use to get ourselves in shape. The kettlebell is a perfect example of an exercise regimen that we can try. We can also try gymnastics and routines like presses, multi-plane pushes, front and back levers, V-sits, L-sits, and hanging leg lifts. There is so much stuff available online and even at our local gyms to keep our conditioning regimen fresh and lively. We need to just keep exploring, experimenting, and looking. Do. Most importantly, we need to keep getting better and just do. Discipline is always assumed when we achieve anything at any age. Getting a passing grade in the first grade requires discipline. Mastering how to fly and land a space shuttle perfectly requires a lot more discipline at a much later age, after an astronaut has completed layers and layers of education and experience. Regardless of how old we are and what we do, discipline is something that comes and goes, and we sometimes have to go through extraordinary lengths to get back or maintain. Willink's book has shown that much of the discipline that we need to muster for any kind of worthwhile effort mainly comes from the activity between our ears. The serotonin and the other hormones our brains produce certainly play important parts in encouraging and lighting a fire under us when we feel sluggish and lazy. Willink's book, however, helps us along by providing a few key, powerful words that we can use as powerful one- or two-word slogans to go by when our energy seems to be flagging. It's interesting that for those who are not inclined to read lengthy books on self-discipline, Willink's short and concise book is a godsend that does not require any disciplined and prolonged reading and study. Most people's minds will wander if they have to be forced to read a mind-numbing tome that features wordy approaches to self-discipline, building willpower and inner strength. The concepts in the book are prized, bite-sized nuggets that are easily digested and, even better, bookmarked for later reference. In Part 1, which deals with the mental aspects of discipline, the reader can choose whatever concept they want to revisit at any time. Feeling under the weather? Then just go to the parts that talk about weakness and bad instincts. It's in Part 2, and especially the appendix, where Willink outlines actual physical conditioning exercises, where we realize that the author means business. While the exercises are in themselves simple to understand and apply, the intermediate and advanced levels appear to be demanding physical applications of the mental principles that he has outlined. For many, reading, as opposed to performing some of the advanced exercises, may be enough to scare anyone. This only proves that the reader needs to possess the discipline to stick with the program and begin where Willink says we should start. The best part about Willink's book is that it constantly reminds us to move forward to reach our goals and just be better every day. We may not have the mortal enemies that a U.S. Navy SEAL might encounter, but if we do not discipline our minds and bodies, decay and death can come in other non-military forms.